This is a really unbelievable league, and you've got to almost feel it in person to get the full appreciation. And we are underway here. So for the Indy drivers, again, you get Gina Cilento out of Milwaukee and Heather Iffert, as you said, Witzkin, hometown girl, Carmel, Indiana, for the drivers.
You know, Heather's a really, really steady, smart player. She came to me before the match like, hey, I'm a little nervous. What do I do? Playing line one players. I'm like, Heather, you're a line one player. You play 100 tournaments. You'd be medaling if you had a really good partner, and you're right there. So don't second guess, but it's good to be nervous, Ari. I mean, I'm nervous for every match. I'm nervous that I'm going out here.
Are you really?
Yeah,
Still? You get nervous before every match?
100%.
Amazing.
But
you feed off that.
I feed off that. I do. If I don't get nervous, there's a problem. It means that there's too much is going on upstairs, and I'm not focused on the right things. But I fully expect Heather to play really well and solid, and with Gina and her huge forehand and such a nice power game. And Gina understands the game well. She's a coach. Obviously, coaches have an ability to understand a lot. So I think this is going to be more competitive than people realize.
Well, you saw the count of the Milwaukee hammer right there from Gina Cilento, was the #1 women's player in the Midwest in tennis. As Rick said, she's doing a lot of coaching, tennis and pickleball. Heather Iffert also played her tennis at Tennessee. That's big time in the SEC.
You know, when you play high-level tennis, especially Division I, you're mentally capable of moments like this. Kris Anderson has won so many gold medals, and you know, she's really iconic in the industry for her past play. And I just was really happy that she was willing to play in our league, and what a great team player. Plus, she's had to play mixed doubles with Dave Weinbach, so that means mentally she can handle anything.
First shot at Weinbach.
Oh, I love Dave. I love him.
Great to see him as part of the NPL.
It is, and he's such a good leader and great personality. You know, I had a player at our Indy driver dinner last night tell me that he was kind of falling asleep watching on the couch watching TV, and then his wife came in and said, "Hey, I see this really gregarious, like outward acting guy," and it was me. And he's like, "That's what kind of pumped him up to play pickleball." Well, I'm sure with the Weinbach, who played with Kris Anderson a lot, I'm sure a lot of people have seen Dave play, and his grunting and his just extracurricular has driven a lot of people to love the game too.
Yeah, you mentioned Kris Anderson, won 3 major titles in mixed back in 2019. Played tennis at Lehigh. And there is Anderson, get that good length up there. And Nathalie Bagby, of course, her record well known. What a champion she is, part of the driver championship out of France. Women's professional tennis for 14 years. But Anderson and Bagby, that's going to be a tough tandem to beat, Rick. You see the left-hander, the tall righty, on paper and just, you know, visibly, they're going to be tough to beat for anybody.
Yeah, you know, I really like the Columbus owners. They're so smart, and they drafted so well to have Headings and Anderson and Bagby and Hedberg. And, I mean, they have a really, really great team. We said it on our podcast, but the father-son ownership group is such a neat vibe. That family has so much respect and love. It's very apparent. You know, Jeff McKnight, who's the son who owns the team, and his dad brought his wife today, so grandma's here. It's a really cool, and they really care about the NPL, and they really care about studying the players. Boy, didn't they do a great job selecting their team? They're in first place.
Yeah. That's Phil McKnight, the father, Jeff McKnight, son, and of course the Indy drivers, owners Phil and Paula Cohen, championship owners. And you know, Phil, what he had to give to bring you back to the drivers, the key to Indianapolis, a condo in Boca Raton. I mean, the guy.
Well, you know, Phil's a generous owner, but we got to all work within our spending cap and limit. So that's not true that I got any of those things.
No, it's part of the trade, right? Because then you have to trade to get you back.
Yeah, you can't. Even within the trade, the limitation is You can't give any extras, but I will say that, with Matt Troyer, who's my co-captain, and, Phil and Paula are so invested in this. They've done a nice job investing in the media for our team. So, look, we're the defending champions. Everyone wants to beat us, and we started off a little slow. We did that last year too, Ari. So don't count us out. Now we get Mills Miller back, so we're excited for that today too.
Is that the game that the drivers will want to play here? A short dink game?
I think so. And that's kind of what I told Heather. Play high percentage pickleball. That's how you get into the top ranks and feel like you belong. If you give a series of errors to players that think they're better than you already, that's just like that. Can't do that. But Gina's got a weapon of a forehand, but it just was slow and low, started to drop. It's better just pin them back at the feet with a 3/4 roll. So 4-1 for the Hotshots.
Nice angle there by Iffert.
I've known Heather a long time. She's such a steady, solid player, and just mentally she just stays so even keel. I actually asked her yesterday to try and get out of her comfort zone a little bit and get a little more rah-rah in her. That's not her nature.
Ooh, pretty good look there for Cilento. Is that something a player can add? You think? You said it's not in a player's nature. Can you change your nature and make you a rah-rah kind of leader on the court?
I think it's perhaps a little fabricated, and I think it's everybody's duty as a player on a team to change their persona on the court if it's in the best interest of the team. So we're all professionals, and I absolutely know that Heather, with her little fist bumps, is her version of going to the next level, and I'm proud of her for that.
So whatever that is, whatever that player can bring, that's what we want to bring out. That's the point.
Exactly. And even if they've never done it before, some players feed off their partners getting up and getting hyped. And if we see that dynamic within the team, we might go to that person like, hey, hype yourself up like you've never been hyped before.
Do you want that from your partners? Because you're usually the hype guy. Do you want them kind of a neutral, relaxed?
Yeah. It doesn't matter to me if they hype or they're relaxed. I can tell you that in this format of playing 8 matches in 2 days at line 1 where everybody's good, you have to consume energy too. Yeah. So what I do like is them to hype when I'm not hyped, because I'm tired and I'm trying to conserve energy. And last time I checked, I'm one of the biggest guys in the league, right? So it takes a little more for me to motor around that court.
Well, you could say that, or you could say, oh, Rick takes 2 strides and he's got the whole court covered.
That's fair. That's fair. Kris Anderson's really nice height here. She really covers a lot of court with that long, lanky frame.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to lob over her either.
She's a very smart player. Looks like that low backhand is a really good place to drop it to and dink to.
Yeah, perfect drop there by Heather Iffert. Big roar in the building. The energy just fantastic throughout the weekend. That is a gorgeous cross-court inside-out shot. Short corner, Cilento.
4 serving 5. I think it was 4-5-1. Nice job being down and coming back here by the drivers.
And that one handcuffed Anderson a bit. So picking up some steam, the Indy drivers. And we're tied.
I've known Gina for a while, but I've never seen her. Obviously in a team atmosphere, she didn't play in the league, nor did Heather last year. But I've really been impressed with Gina's ability to be a gamer for her team. She's a little bit injured, and she's very much nurturing those injuries. But I'm really, really proud of how she steps up. I know she's got a nice following here in Chicago, and she's got people supporting her that are great for the team. So I'm really happy that she's an Indy driver.
Yeah, one of the leaders in the coaching industry out of backing from Nike throughout the Midwest, Milwaukee area, Chicago area.
Ooh,
nice setup, though.
Nice setup, good opportunity.
Like that inside out.
For sure.
Well, how do you pull that off, Rick? Is that all wrist movement?
Yeah, it's a total wrist movement. You set it back and you lay it back further than you ever would and curl it. It is all wrist. Indy drivers, by the way, are up 1-0 on Columbus, but the women's match, line 3, has been back and forth, and we lost the first game in that 11-10. So Columbus is closer to tying it up. In fact, it looks like they have tied it up. So the team match score is now 1-1. Ooh, 2 opportunities go by the wayside.
Big firefight there, though. Good point. You see the score there, the match battle. Drivers up officially 1-0. Right on the line. And then follows it up with a put away. Authority from Cilento.
She's got a nice whippy forehand. You guys watch the kind of momentum and speed she generates with that crack the whip style. It's quite impressive and very problematic for the opponent.
Nice and loose, huh, Rick?
Yes, it is. There's another example. She'll fire more than usual, more than people that from even balls slightly lower, because she does generate topspin and speed that a lot of these women haven't seen before. It's like we're all tied up, Ari.
Yeah, what a match here to begin championship court coverage on Sunday. 7-6, they've got it now.
Okay.
Well, Iffert has done a nice job finding the feet of Anderson.
I'm not sure Kris's age, but she's been around a while, and I do think somebody that's that tall, getting them to continually bend, can wear an opponent down over time. So I think it's a good strategy. It was a nice backhand flick volley by Anderson.
That is a beautiful shot by Anderson. Now, she has quite a wingspan, too. Not only the height, but you see her ability to reach into the kitchen.
Oh, Gina set herself up really well, 3 points, but then she's missing the kill shot. Maybe she should take something off of that kill shot when it makes her stretch like that last one did.
Is it too much stretch, Rick? Should she be moving her feet a little more?
She should be shuffling a little more to get there, but I think that you've got to know that when you're slightly off balance and you feel like you want to go for the kill, you got to go to plan B. Go for the steadier shot. Looks like Anderson wants to do that backhand to backhand dink with Cilento there.
So 8-6. Well, that's a big lead in this game. It has been tight. Deep serve. Iffert's placement has been precise.
She makes very few errors.
It's a good look at Bagby. Reached the 4th round in Wimbledon back in 1990.
It's really fun. Bagby and I won a big mixed doubles match in the championship. It was so much fun playing with her, playing Crandall and Shirley last year.
Oh yeah, I remember that match well.
Yeah,
that was fun. Ooh, nice try, but missing was Anderson.
Side out.
Much needed, down 3. At what point does Indy not the targeted anymore? You come into the weekend as the champs. Everybody taking a shot. They want to take you guys down. I mean, now it's Columbus who's in first place. Does that change quickly?
I think it changes quickly. You know, we have a very, very different team. I wasn't even supposed to be on Indy's team, and thought it was a good idea to move to Indy for multiple reasons. But I think when you hear our podcast, which is the National Pickleball League podcast, go to Instagram, Facebook, NPL Pickleball. You can hear our assessments of the teams and the breakdown of what we thought the top teams, who we thought they were. And, you know, with our assessments and the way it stacked out for day one, pretty close to being on it. We were very impressed with Columbus. Obviously, you got Boca 2-0. We knew they were going to be really good, although they had a really good battle with Austin, Coachella Valley. You know, all these teams that we knew were going to be good are good and strong. But that being said, you know, Mills didn't play for us. He's our second best guy. Like, Beth is injured for OKC. When she gets back,
that's right.
Watch out. So one player can really turn the whole dynamic of teams outway.
Ooh, nice pick up there on the short hop by Cilento. Yeah, that podcast, you guys did a great job on that. Everything and the kitchen dink, I think. You get Michael Chen, Rick Witskin, David George, and Galwas, right?
John Galwas. Yeah. You got it. It's a really nice mix of personalities, and I really appreciate all the viewership because we had a lot of views on our last one. But, you know, the one of the owners of the league, Paul Keener, his son Nick Keener, does a great job setting up that podcast for us, and I just look to have a lot of really amazing guests. We look to have a lot of amazing guests, including owners and players throughout the year. So we hope people tune in and look. You know, we'll continue to make predictions, and it'll be a little different coming out of this weekend.
Cilento with a big drive on the move.
That's the forehand I was talking about. She creates spin. I mean, her loop's a little bigger than probably I'd coach, but she really manufactures a lot of momentum.
And there it is again. That's power from Gina. And we're locked up at 9. Big roar from the Indy crowd.
And it's really fun to see all the new people playing in the league that didn't play last year. That's a crucial fault right there at 9-1.
Ooh, out of timeout. Yep. Gina getting a smile out of it. Now has to refocus and drops that in. That's the way to make up for it immediately. And look at this. We got a game point drivers. They have 4 unanswered. Trailed 9-6.
It's a great drop and a great. Wow.
Really well executed there, Witskin. And we have a let on the first point of game 2. 5 consecutive points for the drivers to end game 1 as they come back and win it 11-9 over Anderson and Bagby. And we just heard the Indy drivers chant asking you will receive. Let's go drivers. Game 2. What do you expect the adjustments from Anderson and Bagby here, Rick?
I'll tell you what, I think they're wondering if these women can continue to play that well. But you can just see that was an awesome drop by Cilento. I'm really proud of the way these guys, Gina and Heather, I think they're going to be just as tough in game 2 as they were in game 1.
And Julian Coffey, by the way, getting us all started. Can I grab that? I think that's David Alexander's, actually. But Julian Coffey getting everybody started here early this weekend and then keeping us going all day. Thank you, Julian and Julian Coffey. It is delicious, by the way. And part of your Indy drivers team, Julian, with Julian Coffey. Outstanding work by Julian and his wife.
You know, I really want to expand on that with Julian Coffey and what he's meant to our league. Ken's from Indianapolis. He is somebody that I asked to sponsor our draft party last year. He said absolutely. Last night at our dinner, we had Ken and his lovely wife, Lori, talking about a few of their experiences. And one thing I asked Ken to talk about, because he's such an inspiration to me, is his condition with Parkinson's disease. And good point there. I just wanted to say that, Ken swears by pickleball, helping keep Parkinson's at bay. And daily, because he plays out of my facility, he's in there at 6 a.m. playing and using his ball machine and working hard. Ken's not, the top player on our team, but he is a key component. He's inspirational to so many people. His wife, she was tearing up about how pickleball in the NPL is really helping him keep that disease at bay. So I'm just really proud of Ken, the fact that he's willing to sponsor our league, but also his personal trials and tribulations and how he's handling it. It's a beautiful story.
Get the defense there by Iffert, and that was out. What a sequence for the drivers. Get back to Ken Julian. I think, his story is remarkable, and we love having Ken Julian in his coffee, and he's added so much to the league and inspirational. But you find those stories in this game, in the NPL, and throughout this sport. It's inspiring.
When you asked me earlier, all right, how I feel about the league, and we had a few top players early on not want as many players per team. And I just said, you guys are crazy to have 188 players who have incredible journeys, that have lived 50 years, that have been moms for 30 years or in their occupation 30 years, dedicating to corporate America. They deserve this. And there's so many diamonds in the rough. Look at Heather Iffert. Nobody knew her. She's playing line one, and she's beating Anderson and Bagby right now. We cannot be narcissistic to believe that there's only 6 or 8 top men or women, and there's not incredible players right around the corner. So I'm really proud of the owners for buying in, and I'm really proud of the top players for changing their perspective to allow this league to grow, because you can see right here in front of us how many talented unknown players there are.
That's great leadership, Rick. And some of those players at the bottom of these teams, not only are they very talented and kind of the unknowns, as you say. Wow, what a catch.
What a great point.
Ooh. But you see the excitement on their face. They are so enthusiastic to be part of this league.
Yeah, it's in the relationships that are built, obviously Ken Julian, everybody loves Ken, and he's found a number of partners to play at the individual tournaments thanks to the NPL, and it's really fun for me to see the partnerships that have evolved through NPL that go and play individual tournaments. So it's a nice byproduct, because that's a good finish. Gina's missed a few of those high forehands, but boy, when she gets that sweet spot, it's over.
What a match this has been. You pointed out, you go into this, you look at Anderson Bagby, how are you going to beat this team? Duper rating, pretty much heavy favorite here for Columbus. No fear on your team at all.
No fear. Gina's had to coach a lot. That's her profession, and I respect it. She doesn't play many tournaments, but she's played mixed doubles with Weinbach multiple times. And Heather, I've known her being such a solid. Look, if you played college tennis at UT, that means you're probably going to be a pretty good pickleball player.
Yeah.
Plus, her mental state is so impressive. She's fairly unflappable. So, it was not a leap of faith that Matt Troyer and I discussed having her play one today. We feel like, she's a gamer, and win or lose this match, I don't even care. You can see that she belongs.
This is a good look at Gina. Look at her favorite shot, forehand, anything. She is a character out of Milwaukee. Got line somehow.
Whoa.
What a cross-court delivery from Iffert. Driver fans love it. Where's Phil Cohn? He's got to be watching somewhere. I saw him stagger out of the hotel early this morning at an early hour.
Yeah, Phil, he's a really generous owner. Very nice dinner last night. He treated us to, and I know he's got his mom's spouse just passed away, so Phil's going to leave fairly early today to rightfully be with his mom. So condolences to their family.
Condolences to Phil and the family. It's Iffert's favorite shot, forehand cross court, and perfect timing for our production crew because right after she hit a winner with the cross court forehand.
Cilento showed the forehand anything desire right there on that shot. She was fading away, falling back, and tried to whip it, and that's really hard to do.
That was just wide. Quick call by Gina. We'll give the ball back to the drivers after Bagby's serve.
It's a good whip. That's not a ball that Natalie's used to having to fend off with that kind of whip and Thompson. Plus, we haven't talked about just the perspective on paddles. You're a bright guy and you know the industry well, and I have my own opinions on the carbon and the Eulas and the gearboxes and the how do you feel about the paddles and the evolution of where they're at now and the testing and whatnot?
My game is hit and hope. So no matter what I'm using, so I wouldn't be the expert on. I know there's a lot of controversy, so I think that question would be better answered by a pro like you, Rick.
Yeah. Well, I played Cincinnati and won singles and doubles last weekend, and I do attribute my PaddleTech paddle to very much helping me. I feel like what I can do in singles is really fun with the paddle. I don't love the fact that we have souped up paddles that are, so powerful and have so much spin, but and it was really near and dear to my heart was the Ripskin paddle.
Yeah.
But that had no ability to put the carbon or the grit, so I had to switch. And thankfully PaddleTech is coming out with my Ripskin signature paddle, which is the TKO model, and it's going to be in honoring of the veterans of America. And I'm very patriotic. My dad was in the Army. I love leading the NPL and the national anthem every event morning. And so be looking for that. All right, the signature Rick Witskin PaddleTech TKO.
I will be a customer immediately.
Awesome.
Thank your dad for his service, all our military veterans.
And 10% of all the sales of that paddle will be going to the military. So I'm excited about that too.
Great to hear.
But the whole dynamic of testing is what's important to me. It's okay that the industry has allowed this level of power and spin. It's changing the game. I think, honestly, it helps the non-athlete. There's a lot of players that are really in tight matches because they're just wailing away and not playing what I knew to be true pickleball. What a great point here. Holy smokes. Wow.
Oh.
That's a phenomenal point.
The point of the day, one of the best points of the weekend. All four competitors applauding. I'd love to see that too. And if Bagby's going to come over and catch her breath a little bit.
That was a great point. So it's 5-5 here in the second game, but just to put a bow on it, I hope the testing gets better. I hope there's higher technology in the testing. And I think that any paddle that seems like it's delaminated, that's firing out 150-mile-an-hour fastballs, I think anybody that uses a paddle like that should be banned from the game. I don't like the cheating that I've seen, and it's rare at the senior pro level, but there's been a couple of senior pros that have used paddles that that ball's hot because their paddle might be delaminated, and I don't like that element of the game at all.
So that's kind of the limit. That's got to be the line, huh?
Right. Oh, good gap. That reset.
Couple of very physical points going to Bagby and Anderson. Let's see if that turns the tide here in this match. And that one just missing. So Columbus rolling right now.
This would be a time that I would recommend my ladies get a timeout. But I'm in the commentating booth, so I can't tell. That's 4 points in a row. It's really like essential to use your timeout.
There it is.
Fine.
There you go.
Yeah. Probably 2 points later than I would have recommended, but better late than never.
Sometimes.
Because Matt Toyer does know what he's doing. It's a nice ball that Bagby hit from the deep baseline. Kept it low. There, Clark's just back a little too far, and those women, Anderson and Bagby, they will eat that for lunch. Seeing one player staggered back a few feet beyond the kitchen line.
We've got a game point here. 5 consecutive. Iffert keeping Indy's hopes alive here in the second. Looks like we're heading to a third. But Indy does have the ball back. Cilento.
Nice drop by Gina.
Anderson has found her groove. Has really kind of widened her stance, Rick. The foundation is there, stronger.
It's so important. I obviously do a lot of camps, Ari, and headed into New York to do a camp in 4 days. Then I head to Naples in 10 days. But anyway, that foundation of the legs, especially for tall people like Kris and I, and heck, the Columbus Hotshots have a lot of tall guys on their team. We've got Hedberg and Lively, and these guys are so tall. That foundation of width is super important. Nice snap and lasso whip forehand.
Well, that is some easy power too. There's our Gamma Chuck replay. Look at that whip.
I hope the Indy drivers win the next point or two, but if I were Anderson or Bagby, I consider taking a timeout if they do lose. No, they didn't. That's a really rare bad decision by Iffert to attack that ball. She's good at resetting, and she should have, when that ball was below the net, she should have reset.
Good look at some of the hot shots behind. Lively over there, Hedberg. The all basketball team, pickleball team.
It is kind of a joke that Columbus teases that they built their team based on height. I mean, you look at Kris Anderson and Hedberg and Lively. There's somebody else on their team that's really tall. They've got 3 guys over 6'3", 6'4".
And that'll do it.
Shea Coker, yeah, very tall.
11-7, we're going 3. Stay with us. The decisive game coming up. All right, game 3 in a good one. This has been a superb match. Columbus serving to begin the third. Well, a good start for Bagby and Anderson, and you had a meeting of the minds for the drivers before the third. What do you? Well, Rick will say, let us know what he thinks the message was as soon as he got a couple guys behind him. That one gets line. Shot by Iffert as they'll have their first serve. But talking about the meeting before this third game, what do you think the message was?
Yeah, I think that obviously that first game they were down 9-6, 9-7, and they really were kind of aggressively like that, aggressively going after their shots when a drop came down. And I'm really happy Gina just attacked that because I think, with the experience of Bagby and Anderson, I don't think you're going to slow play a 25 ball rally to win the majority of those. So I think when you hit a good low ball, you got to really go after it. And that's what I would say if I was able to talk to them. And I was really lucky by Nathalie. I hope she appreciates that. But I do want to give an update just so the Indy in score with the Hotshots is now 1-1 in matches. And Indy's won the first game on the line 2 doubles with Linda Thompson and Moira Rausch won 11-10. So we got a really close beginning, and I'm proud of the drivers as we are not at the top of the rankings, and Columbus certainly is after day one.
Good look at Anderson serving. Well, that's pretty solid on the women's side for the drivers. You get it looks like you've got good depth there for the ladies.
Yes, we do.
And that was one of the strengths of last year's championship team.
You're right about that. The depth of the women in Indy is the thing. And we've got one of our top players isn't even playing this morning match because we're kind of rotating 8 ladies to be even. Jenny Marcos is a great player.
Yeah.
She's not even in our lineup today. But you know, that first weekend is such a feel-out weekend for players and teams and chemistry, and things will be very different in weekend too.
Yeah, it's too bad. I love watching Jenny play. We won't get to see her this morning here on Champion Court, but we will throughout the season. So are you going to match up with Jenny?
We played mixed yesterday and won. Really fun. What a great woman. The lefty, you know, she's really can get on hot streaks, which is fun to see. She's got a great serve. But I think between Gina and Heather and Jenny, I really don't know who my stable mixed doubles partner will be. But I would bet it'd be one of those 3. Maybe, and Linda Thompson. She's a very experienced player. She beat me before. She's very good. So we got a lot of solid women. You're right about that.
Thompson had a really strong record last season for the NPL. Great winning percentage. And Royce, she's tough too.
She's tough.
A little bit of a slow start for your drivers here in the third.
Let's go ahead, you got this. Come on, Iffert. Let's go, Cilento. Some loose errors here, not the way you want to start game 3.
Well, Columbus cruising here in the third. They have reached 6 already. They're going to change sides.
We need to do some makeshift.
What do we do? Bust through a window in Glendale? Take a garage door down?
Shout out to Incrediware. Incrediware is awesome. I use Incrediware because I'm old and I need my muscles to stay contained.
I'm head to toe Incrediware even for a broadcast. What a point. Nathalie Bagby at her best.
I know what's going through Nathalie's head. I just know her so well. She's funny.
Incredible, the official wearable recovery partner, our title partner here at the Chicago Kickoff event.
Boy, this is not looking good. This is a steamroll third, and just giving them too many balls that they can be productive with, plus unforced errors. You got to be high percentage and give them balls that are below the net at their toes. They can't be productive.
Oh, there you go, Rick, just as you said, and that softened Columbus up on that point.
Working at the toes over and over again with some different speeds of the roll. That's really important, you know. Sometimes people just hit one speed, and players start locking in on that. You got to change up the pace and the amount of spin you put on the ball so they can't be totally understanding what you're doing. It's a really nice drive.
Yeah, it really is. Lefty inside out with some spin just over the tape. Good look at Heather Iffert collecting her thoughts.
7-1 serving for the Hotshots. That's a nice roll. She's got a really nice, smooth paintbrush roll on her forehand especially.
Right down Michigan Avenue here in Chicago. Look at the angle Bagby takes. There's another look.
That's nice. She really turned her shoulders well for that. Can't just manipulate the wrist. You got to get the shoulders moving in the right direction there.
Anderson upstairs with that wingspan.
I think you might have mentioned this earlier, Ari, but lobbing Kris Anderson's pretty tough to do.
Ball back to the Hotshots. Trying to close it out.
That's a great roll, great dip.
Over the high part of the net, inside in, at a high degree of difficulty.
8-1. This match was so close and in Indy's favor for the first game and a half, but then you saw some real veteran leadership by Bagby and Anderson to play really smart pickleball and just high percentage, placing the ball well, get them off balance, and then the flurry of errors that came after that really long point. That kind of sent the ship down into the water. Like the Titanic.
Oh, everything going their way. A little French pastry there from Bagby, who was the #1 player in France back in 1987. We had a good look at Ken Julian. There he is under the NPL sign to the left of the screen.
Well, that's a great lob and a great get. Good job of staying in this point for Indy so far. Oh.
We're at match point. This would put the Hotshots up in the match battle scoring. 2-1, we believe, but we'll update that.
There it is.
Yeah. Statement made by the Hotshots and Anderson and Bagby. Rick, thank you. We'll see you on court soon. So there you have it. Next up here, we'll have Austin and Houston back out. We got Weinbach and Hostetler, Moore and Lopez. That should be a good one. Rick Witzkin will take the court after that with Mills Miller against Headings and Hedberg. So we'll be back for the next match. Rick, thanks so much. We'll see you on court soon.
My pleasure. Thank you, Ari.
Okay. Wow. Another win for the Columbus Hotshots. What a great team you guys got on. Kris, not surprised to see you for my second interview, your first time in the season. How is it playing against a team that maybe you've never seen before, somebody brand new like that?
Yeah, I have never played against those girls, and that's what this is all about. A bunch of new faces and great players, and boy, we battled. So many balls came back that we didn't think were going to come back, and we're like, okay, everything's coming back. And it was a tough battle. We had to play hard. It was a good match.
You guys played great. And Nathalie, there was mixed emotions in the booth over there. Rick says you guys have such a bond, he can't root against you, so he was torn there. What do you think about that?
Well, I want to thank him. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to play my next tournament in mix with him. And we were teammates last year. So it's true, it's difficult, but, now that's his team. So no matter what, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah.
I think we're all know each other here in this NPL. Everybody's family, and it's hard to ever root against anybody. You know, I want to see, they had a pattern over there they did. I know it wasn't on purpose, but it could be the future of the game, where one person went up and missed a shot, and then the person behind got it. It was like a volleyball screen. Do you think that could be something that could come into the game?
The decoy play always works. I mean, I'm all for the decoy play, yeah.
So there is a name for it, the decoy play. I love that. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know if it was intentional, but and I don't think so. But it's and you know, every point was tough. So we had to fight, and they had to fight, and at the end we prevailed, and that was good for me today because I'm not feeling good since the beginning, and it was a really tough match. And you never know with Gina because she hits 100 miles an hour. If it's in, you can't do anything. Fortunately, she did some mistake, but we were very strong. There was one point, I think, that made the turn when we saved that in the second game. We saved that point, and I think that's what made the match switch. Yeah.
You started just cranking off points like that. They didn't call the timeout that they probably should have. But, hey, great job. That was a fun game to watch. Welcome to the NPL. All right, we're going back to the booth.